Morning, welcome to Erie Shores Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. Just wanted my new cup of coffee, and it's got the chicken design on it. We like our backyard chickens. Hope your Memorial weekend is good for you and you're accomplishing your goals for your prepping. We have a unhinged Democrat Congressman, one of many, but this particular guy, he's scary. He's out of Massachusetts, Democrat Auchincloss, I believe is how you pronounce his name. And he made an appearance on MSNBC, and he was on his tirade, like all unhinged anti-Second Amendment people are. And he was on a rant about the NRA, saying it has to be defunded. It is a corrupt organization, and I would agree with him in part. Wayne LaPierre needs to be gone, as well as the top executives who have been using premiums for their own good, for their own enrichment, for a bizarre lifestyle that does not include benefiting its members. So I agree with him in that one part. It needs to be reformed. But the point is defending the Second Amendment, which this gentleman does not believe in. He made a statement about defunding it, as I said, but even more, how to get rid of the NRA, but also name the people, the 5 million people who are members of the NRA across this country. That's men, women, Republican, Democrat, needs to have their names published and their addresses published to shame them for belonging to a private organization that you pay dues to represent you, to fight people like this nut job out of Massachusetts. This man's thinking is very dangerous. It is absolutely the reason why you have the Second Amendment. It is to prevent tyranny and authoritarianism by these very people. If they can remove the Second Amendment, that would give them free rein to do whatever they want to its citizenship. And this man is advocating publishing my private business so that he can shame me for potentially being a member of the NRA. I am not a member of the NRA until Wayne LaPierre is gone, but that's not the point. There are other Second Amendment advocates that are more effective. GAO is one of them, and there's other Second Amendment advocate groups that you pay dues to that represent you better than the NRA. But however, this man wants to expose its membership. He wants to, the banks, lending institutions, pressuring them not to fund any projects by the Second Amendment groups. What business is it of his? But this is the authoritarianism that creeps into these unhinged politicians. And you can replace NRA with any group. I don't like his church that he goes to. That is the reason why we have this happening across America. It's the Catholic Church, it's the synagogues, it's the mosques. I don't like the Presbyterians. They're an unhealthy group and they're too powerful and they represent what we don't like. And I'm using that as an example, of course. Replace it with any membership. And this guy is scary. You have the First Amendment to have dialogue, express your thoughts, your freedoms. But the government is crept into that and working hand in glove with YouTube, Google, Twitter to censor your free speech. That's why the Second Amendment was there. When you can no longer have free speech, you have to back it up with something so you can be heard. Thomas Paine warned us about tyranny of the government. And now people like this guy want to have red flag laws, national red flag laws, Chuck Schumer, which is totally unconstitutional. It violates everything in the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment for unreasonable search and seizure. He wants to make it a national gun registry tied to red flags. So if your neighbor doesn't like you, he can make a secret phone call to the police, to the ATF, and say, this guy Greg, he's out there by himself. I believe he's a prepper, and I know he's hoarding guns, and he's flying the Gadsden flag, and he's flying, let's go Brandon, and I just know he's a threat to this neighborhood. You guys need to do something. I hear him shooting guns all the time, playing the national anthem. That guy's a radical, and I know he's got guns, and he's making threats. That's all it takes. Just the insinuation that someone's making threats, and suddenly, without a warrant, they're in your house, seizing your guns, keeping you in lockdown for 72 hours until you prove you're no threat. And it takes you years to get your guns back. That's where the direction of this unhinged congressman on national TV says he wants to expose 5 million people. I personally don't care. But for him to say, I want to expose them where they live and shame them, there is no shame other than him denouncing the Second Amendment, denouncing the American people. He's not saying the citizenship that we fought so hard for and celebrating this Memorial Weekend. He's not saying the Americans. He's saying those people, further separating us and dividing us. These are the people that need to be removed from office immediately. Vote these people out, impeach them, silence them. I get worked up when it's like this. You have the right to say what you want to say for the most part. I may disagree with it. My options are have a conversation with you, express civilly each other's point of view. You can agree to disagree. You can walk away. And if you get too much, I can just block you. But that's my right, and that's your right to express your views, and I respect that. But when somebody says, those people, and you have no right to belong to any organization, that's the people Thomas Paine was talking about. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Please continue to do so. Get yourself right with God. Get baptized, submerged in water, born again. Greg out.